Welcome to this little space where we take care of senior health through simple yet effective choices. If this is your first time visiting, thank you for spending your time here. And if you're already familiar with the stories we share, I'm truly glad to see you again, like an old friend walking the same path of maintaining the body after 60. Perhaps you've felt it before, waking up with stiff knees, cold fingers, or a fog that seems to settle over your memory. You eat regularly. You include vegetables, you avoid sugar, and you take your medications on time. Yet somehow, your body still seems to resist. Could it be that age is gaining the upper hand? Or is something quietly changing from the inside, starting right from your plate? According to a 2022 report from Harvard Health Publishing, choosing the wrong group of foods, even those that seem harmless like bread, potatoes, or instant oatmeal, can directly affect blood vessels, memory, and the immune system after age 60. The concerning part is that many people consume them daily without even knowing the damage they're causing. So, which foods are silently undermining your health in old age, and which humble dishes are strong enough to revive your joints, memory, and even the flexibility in your steps? Let us gently explore those answers together, in a journey that may very well change how you see every single bite. 1. The silent destroyers in the kitchen. Mr. William is now 73 years old and lives in a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts of Columbus, Ohio. He used to be a physical education teacher, known for his agility and organized lifestyle, but everything started to change after retirement. He often felt tired in the mornings. His knees ached when walking down the stairs, and his memory was no longer as sharp. Each time he stood up too quickly, he felt dizzy. When he visited his doctor, he was prescribed vitamins and brain supplements, but nothing seemed to help, he told himself. Maybe it's just old age. But one day, his granddaughter Sarah, a nutrition student at Tufts University, came to visit. After a few simple questions, she realized the culprit was not age, but something much closer: his daily breakfast. Mr. Williams' breakfast usually included a slice of white bread, a bit of deli meat, and sometimes a bowl of instant oatmeal flavored with cinnamon apple. For lunch, he had a sandwich with smoked sausage. For dinner, he might eat store-bought French fries. All of it was familiar, convenient, and had been part of his routine for years. But Sarah explained that these seemingly harmless foods were silently destroying his health. White bread and refined starches no longer retain fiber, minerals, or vitamins, once consumed. They cause a spike in blood sugar followed by a sharp crash, leaving the body drained, tired, and hungry again. According to a 2021 study published in Diabetes Care, adults over 60 who consumed refined starches daily had a 27% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes and a 15% higher risk of cardiovascular disease after just 5 years. Even more concerning, many whole grain breads sold today still contain refined white flour dyed brown, along with added sugar and preservatives, offering little actual benefit. The second group of harmful foods includes processed meats, from the sausage in his sandwich to the deli meat slices in his lunch. These foods contain salt, nitrates, preservatives, and saturated fat. They increase systemic inflammation and accelerate the aging of blood vessels, kidneys, and the brain. A 2022 research review published in the British Medical Journal revealed that people who ate processed meat more than 3 times per week had a 42% higher risk of dying from heart disease and a 24% higher risk of stroke compared to those who rarely consumed it. Processed meat also creates AGEs, advanced glycation end products, which speed up aging, especially when fried, smoked, or grilled at high heat. Next are sugary breakfast cereals and fruit-flavored instant oatmeal. With colorful packaging and claims like high fiber and heart healthy, many older adults believe they're safe. But in reality, these are sweet traps that spike blood sugar as fast as drinking soda. A 2021 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who ate sweetened breakfast cereals more than 5 times a week had a 38% higher risk of diabetes and were twice as likely to experience midday fatigue. The troubling part is that this hunger and tiredness often lead to snacking on cookies, candy, or sugary drinks, a vicious cycle that drains the body while appearing to be just part of getting older. And finally, the most dangerous silent killer: fried potatoes and crispy snacks. A golden plate of fries, a buttery-flavored snack bag, or even a hash brown may seem harmless but are full of trans fats, acrylamide, and sodium, 3 factors that cause inflammation, harden blood vessels, and increase the risk of stroke and early memory loss. In a study involving 15,000 seniors published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2021, eating fried potatoes just 2 to 3 times a week raised the risk of heart attack by 61% and cardiovascular death by more than 30%. The danger isn't just in the ingredients, but also in the habit. These foods are everywhere in restaurants, at parties, and on store shelves. Older adults often turn to them because they're easy, convenient, or simply out of loneliness. But over time, they cause belly fat, joint pain, and mental fog, and no one suspects the meals to be the cause. When Sarah explained all of this, Mr. William was stunned. He never imagined that the familiar foods that had been with him for most of his life were now holding his health back. But Sarah didn't stop at warnings. She began showing him natural, restorative foods that were easy to prepare and ideal for older adults, meals that could help him regain clarity, flexibility, and even joy at the dinner table. 2. The quiet companions that rescue aging. Mrs. Eleanor is 68 years old and lives with her husband in a small house in Vermont, surrounded by lush green gardens. After a long stretch of fatigue due to insomnia and persistent joint pain, her doctor advised her to start taking a mild anti-inflammatory medication, but instead of adding more pills, she chose to make changes in her kitchen. She didn't do anything dramatic. She simply let go of old staples like white bread, sausages, and fried potatoes, and replaced them with foods that were more in tune with nature. One of the first things she added was wild blueberries to her morning routine. Wild blueberries are smaller than regular ones, but they contain twice as much anthocyanin, a powerful antioxidant. This compound can cross the blood-brain barrier, helping to protect and restore nerve cells that begin to weaken with age. According to a 2021 study published in Nutrients, adults over 60 who ate 1 cup of wild blueberries daily for 3 months saw a 31% improvement in memory and a 19% reduction in blood pressure. Mrs. Eleanor not only slept better, but also found herself recalling small details from books and holding conversations without confusion like before. The second food she added to her lunch was fatty fish, such as grilled salmon, steamed sardines, or mackerel. These fish are rich in omega-3s, vitamin D, high-quality protein, and essential minerals. Omega-3 has been shown to reduce joint inflammation, lower the risk of irregular heartbeat, and support memory. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked more than 6,000 adults over 60 and found that eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times per week reduced the risk of heart attacks by 37%, joint pain by 27%, and improved short-term memory by 21%. For Mrs. Eleanor, grilling a piece of fish with lemon, rosemary, and olive oil wasn't just simple, it created a revitalizing meal that helped her move more freely in the afternoon without joint pain. She didn't stop there. She also began adding leafy greens to her dinners: garlic sautéed spinach, steamed kale, or rainbow chard soup. These greens are rich in vitamins A, C and K fiber, magnesium, and potassium, all vital for strong bones, flexible muscles, and stable blood pressure. But what makes leafy greens a miracle of aging is their natural nitrate content, which helps dilate blood vessels, improve circulation, and lower stroke risk. A 2022 study in Neurology showed that older adults who ate 1 serving of greens daily could slow cognitive decline by up to 38% and reduce Alzheimer's risk by 26%. Lastly, the food Mrs. Eleanor loved the most, both for its ease and warmth, was lentils. A bowl of lentil soup with tomatoes, celery, and herbs became her and her husband's favorite dinner. Lentils are rich in fiber, plant-based protein, iron, B vitamins, potassium, and resistant starch, all of which help lower blood sugar, boost energy, reduce inflammation, and support longevity. A 2021 research review in Nutrients found that older adults who ate lentils 5 times a week or more had a 38% lower risk of premature death from chronic disease, a 34% lower chance of developing diabetes, and a 29% improvement in daily mobility. Mrs. Eleanor's secret was to cook a big pot in advance, divide it into portions, and store them in the fridge. She often sprinkled chia seeds, sesame, or pumpkin seeds into the soup and added a few lemon slices to help absorb iron better, she said. Eating lentils feels like I'm feeding myself back to life, slow and steady. You don't notice it right away, but the body knows and remembers. From those simple changes, Mrs. Eleanor no longer needed sleeping pills and didn't experience back pain after gardening. She began walking with her husband each afternoon, felt mentally sharper, had better memory, and each day no longer felt so heavy. Have you tried any of these foods? And if so, have you noticed anything different? 3. Aging is not the end, but the beginning of a new way to live. It was a peaceful morning at a park near Clearwater Beach, Florida. 3 lifelong friends, James, Susan, and Clara, sat on their familiar wooden bench beneath the shade of an old oak tree. All of them were over 70, with gray hair and wrinkled skin, but their eyes still sparkled with sharpness. James brought a thermos of warm ginger tea. Susan held a health magazine, and Clara carried a small notebook filled with her life-changing recipes. They jokingly called themselves the Awakened Joint Club because all 3 had suffered from joint pain, high blood pressure, and memory decline, but overcame them through something that seemed small, changing their eating habits. James used to have high cholesterol, and his total cholesterol levels were always above the limit. He often felt dizzy, and his doctor warned him about the risk of a stroke, but once he completely cut out cold cuts, sausages, and fried potatoes and switched to grilled salmon and steamed vegetables, his blood test after 3 months showed a drop in bad cholesterol, a rise in good cholesterol, and more stable blood pressure. What surprised him most wasn't the numbers, but the lightness he felt after each meal. No more bloated stomach or post-meal drowsiness. Susan was a single woman who had lived with chronic knee pain for years. Every morning felt like a battle with swollen, stiff legs. But when she followed a friend's advice from the group, removing white bread and instant cereal, and replacing them with lentil porridge and garlic sautéed kale, after just 4 weeks, the pain noticeably reduced. She no longer needed anti-inflammatory pills in the morning. Now she could walk an entire loop around the park without stopping to rest. Clara was different. She was quick-witted, but in recent years had started forgetting names, misplacing keys, and mixing up dates. She feared she was entering the early stages of dementia, but after reading about the benefits of wild blueberries for the brain, she began eating a small handful daily with unsweetened Greek yogurt. After 2 months, it was her children who noticed first Mom speaking clearly again, and during her routine checkup, the doctor confirmed that Clara was reversing part of her cognitive decline. None of this was magic. It was science. When we remove foods that cause inflammation, spike blood sugar, and damage blood vessels, the body gets a chance to recover. When we nourish each cell with omega-3s, fiber, and natural vitamins from real vegetables, the heart, brain, liver, and kidneys all respond by functioning more smoothly and gently. This isn't dieting. It's being kind to your own body. One specific example was documented in a 2023 review by Tufts University older adults who maintained a diet rich in lentils, leafy greens, fatty fish, and low-sugar fruits for 90 days, lost an average of 4 to 6 kilograms of belly fat. They also improved short-term memory, systolic blood pressure, and systemic inflammation markers. No medication, no intense workouts, just a change in what was on their plate. The truth is, aging is not as bad as people make it out to be. It only becomes scary when we abandon our bodies to routine, eating just to fill the stomach instead of to nourish. All three, James, Susan, and Clara, agreed on one thing: the miracle doesn't lie in expensive foods or loud advertisements. It lies in what you choose to put into your body each day with mindfulness and understanding. That afternoon, as the sun softened, the three friends stood up and promised to meet again the next morning. They walked slowly, but steadily. They were old, but not weak. They still carried wrinkles and dim eyes, but within them was a strength awakened by the simplest things. Have you ever wondered if just one change in your meals could bring back part of your lost health? Which food would you begin with? After all the stories we've walked through together, from Mr. Williams' breakfast habits, Mrs. Eleanor's steady changes, to the heartfelt conversation between James, Susan, and Clara, perhaps you now see one thing clearly: good health after 60 is not a matter of chance. It is the result of small, repeated choices made every single day. We cannot turn back time, but we absolutely can make the years ahead lighter, clearer, and less dependent, simply by changing what we place on our plates each day. You don't need to change your entire fridge overnight. Just today, skip a portion of fried potatoes and replace it with a small serving of sautéed greens. Or tomorrow morning, choose a bowl of slow-cooked oats with wild blueberries instead of that packet of sugary cereal. Each of these actions, though small, is a quiet message to your body: I hear you. I am taking care of you. Growing older is not a time for suffering. It can be a time to relearn how to live in tune with your body, slowly, mindfully, and with love. Healthy food does more than help you live longer. It helps you live more clearly, with more joy, and with a sense of freedom each day. Your body has been loyal to you for decades. Now it's time to return that loyalty, not through pills, but through knowledge, patience, and a plate that knows how to choose wisely. If today's message has been helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can continue this journey together through future videos about nutrition, herbs, and habits that help restore senior health. And what about you? Which of the foods we shared today are already part of your life? Let us know in the comments. We read every message and look forward to hearing your story too. Taking care of yourself is never too late. Start with tonight's dinner, and your body will thank you every morning after.